Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. Of course, Chattanooga Ed, thank you for being here. As always, very much appreciated and good to see you, my friend.
Great to see you.
I'm going to run through and say some hellos real quick. First that I can see is Tampa Tom Fishing, followed by Sand Creek Aquatics 2, Pew Fish Zone, Chris, John Anthony's Fishy Friends. Of course, myself and Ed talking in the chat, Mike's Aquatics and things. What's going on, my friend? Rolling and scrolling. There's Rico, Stan, Mr. Fish Sir. How are you, Brad? Sean Chadwick, K0BK O'Brien. Hello and welcome. Rolling on down. Petzotic / multiple aquariums. How are you, Diego? James Black. What is going on? I know I saw S in here. There's S. Pew Fish Zone, to answer your question, I'm not sure why that's not working. It might be that YouTube hates me, but not entirely sure. I know funky things happen. Edgar Reyes, Sherry Kramer, Epic Aquariums. There's Tampa Tom Fishing again. Kenny with Aquatic Marine. What's going on? He says, wow, you two look a lot like you did last week. Yes, I need to fix this. You can't really tell. I've got my Aquatic Marine towel there. I need to move it over here next time. Tim Carter, what's up? Bill Whitley, a Jet Pegasus Arena, Fish and Shrimp Boy, or by Rich, excuse me. Was scrolling through there. Darlene's Tanks, Furlough's Aquatics, Leslie's Aquatics, Scott's Aquatics, Craig Boderick. Welcome, welcome. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. So before we get into tonight's topic, hey, Black Label Carling, I wanted to say a huge thank you to Priscilla MK, and once again mention that she does have her round 2 of pre-orders going for her Fish Art calendar. It is a 13-month calendar, starts December of this year, and then we'll be glad to get past this year and then moving into 2021, of course, all the way through 2021. I'm not going to show you all the art.
My favorite is May.
June is my favorite because it's got that zebra pleco down there in the bottom corner. But a huge thank you to Priscilla for sending that out to me. I do really, really appreciate it. And, of course, it has Mrs. Fever's Frontosa in there that she really, really liked.
I think that's April.
I think it is. No, it's February because it was Shy's birth month.
Oh,
I thought that.
I knew it was up at the front somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's got a lot of beautiful ones in there. You can go to SwissAquatics.com and you can pre-order on that from her website. It is $18 shipped out. Or if you are near her, excuse me, it is $15. I'm knocking over all my props for tonight. Kenny with Aquatic Marine throwing down the $10 super sticker with the #1 fan jumping pair. Kenny, I really do appreciate that. And thank you. I know some of you all heard I talked about it before. We did get a much bigger home for that Tessellata eel. And that was thank you to Kenny at Aquatic Marine for facilitating and funding. That just went right into my drink. But you know what? I'm going to drink it anyways because I'm pretty sure the Aquarium Co-op mug sanitizes it. Just kidding. Legal disclaimer there. But thank you, Kenny, for the super sticker and for getting that set up. All right. Before I jump into it, Ed, did you have any news or anything you want to go over?
No, I got the calendar, though, also, and I totally love it.
Nice.
Baby cat just jumped up here, and she needs some loving.
I'm very happy it's straightened out. They delivered it in my mailbox, which means that they flipped it in half and shoved it in there because I've got like the big silver community mailboxes, you know, so they're not full size. But luckily it's flattened out. I haven't hung it just yet because, well, one, we're not in December quite yet, and two, I wanted to show it off in here and on a couple other places.
For sure.
Tonight we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things you can find at the Dollar Tree. Bear in mind that their products, you know, vary. They don't always have the exact same thing in stock all the time. And I'm going to throw this on since we got that super chat on there. Party mode. Party mode. That's why Kenny did it. He wanted to see the boa and the glasses. But there's just so many awesome finds that you can get at the dollar store. And I know we've seen a lot of dollar store videos, but there are a lot of things I haven't seen. $1 is the budget. Yeah. So, I mean, and there's things that you may not even think of, you know, tape measure for $1. May not be the greatest tape measure in the world, but it works. I've beat the heck out of this thing and it still works. You know, that's great for if you need to check tank dimensions or specifically building stands, you know, all sorts of different things you can do.
You know, they also have the 1 foot rulers.
Mm-hmm.
And I use mine sometimes to level out my substrate when fish mess it up, or maybe I blast it with water. I use that and I kind of push it around.
I like that. So I'm going to grab this question real quick from Nate. And Nate, you don't need to retype your question when I say this, but I want to let anybody know if you do have a question, we'd be glad to take those. If you'll put @FishroomFever on there so it highlights for me, that'll help me from missing it. But Nate says, hey guys, thoughts on 3 pearl gouramis and a 33 long. Do they need depth? I'm unsure because they breathe air, switching from a 29 gallon to a 33 long. So I will say my gouramis are very active at all levels of the tank. And I think the 33 long's only 12 inches high, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I don't know that they would dislike you for it. I will say, though, that I see mine at all levels of the tank, in 75 and 55. They tend to enjoy being able to go to different depths, would be my opinion on it. Could you get away with it? Probably. Am I going to tell you not to do it? No. I think you in a sense could be fine. I would test it, see how they do in there. Give them maybe a week. They can, kind of try to adjust in there. And if it looks like they're not happy with life, or if maybe they start having issues, pull them back out to that 29 that you mentioned that's a little bit taller.
I bet you they'd be happy though.
They probably would.
Because it's still going to give them more places to explore.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right. So our next thing. Okay. Nick G says, how long have you, Ed included, been keeping fish? I have been off and on. I don't know, 15 years. I mean, we had fish when I was younger too. Almost my whole life. I mean, even when I was a kid, even if it was just finding things and then I'd like put them in like a makeshift tank, and then my mom would be like, no, we're gonna put these back, stuff like that. But off and on, I've always had interaction with aquatic life and tried to keep them in one form or another. So quite a while. I was out of the hobby for several years, just due to moving and the kids, and kids chucking things in fish tanks is not fun. So had an off season, but then I got back into it June of last year. No, it's before June of last year. That's when I got my piranhas. Early last year, and got hit hard with the multi-tank syndrome, and then went to full-on fish room fever, and now I've got 60 something tanks and a couple dozen more sitting empty.
Yeah, I've been in it over 40 years. So the only time I didn't have fish that I can remember since I was like 6, because, well, no, I think my dad brought home a little. My first fish were like when I was maybe 3. But I think during college is the only time I didn't have fish.
Yeah, and I'm not even 40 years old, so I nowhere near as long as Ed has. He's the expert here.
No, just because you're old doesn't mean you're an expert. It just means I like looking at fish.
My thing that really got me this time, I wanted one tank. I told Mrs. Fever, I'm like, I just want one tank. I miss having a tank in my life. And she's like, yeah, okay, just one. Because when she met me, I had several thousand gallons of aquariums, but I was more into the monster fish. So like I had several 125s, 170s, the 120s, the 220s. I had a lot of big tanks, and I think I had my smallest was maybe a 55, and I had a bunch of those. So when I said I just want one tank, she's like, yeah, I don't believe it, but okay, I know you miss your fish. And so I got a pair of bristlenose. That's what really kicked it off. Back before when I had kind of taken my break from the hobby, common plecos were still the big thing everywhere in the pet stores. They didn't have bristlenose in the pet stores here. So I got my first bristlenose, and I threw a female in there, and I didn't realize how easily they bred. So I almost immediately had babies, and so there was the second tank, and so on and so forth. Real quick, I do want to say, Aquamate, welcome back, Josh. Re-upping on his membership. I think I need to go and re-up on yours, buddy. I know I'd had some card issues at one point, and I lost several of my memberships that happened during that time frame. But welcome back, buddy, and I appreciate it. I don't think Aquamate is streaming tonight after me, but if you are, Josh, just let me know. I know that your work schedule and other things were messing with your stream times, plus the time changeover was killing it between Australia and here. But thank you. I appreciate you coming back and joining up again in the membership. All right. Nick G says, I'm keeping fish in college, and the only hassle would be transporting everything. Yeah, I could understand that. If it's one of those things, I guess you personally have to weigh and go, what decision do I want to make? Sorry, I was looking at some of the other comments going on.
Yeah, I was that was probably the busiest time of my life. I didn't sleep much at all. I mean, I had 3 jobs, went to school, and played hockey almost every night. So I don't know how I made it.
Aquabait, again, welcome back and thank you, my friend. We got T-Bone's Fishies with the $2 super sticker with the cool exercise pair. I appreciate you, T-Bone. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for the super sticker. Never expected, but I do always really, really appreciate it. And thank you very much. All right. I'm going to move on to number 2, which is something a lot of people probably don't think about. But that's Goo Gone. You can actually get Goo Gone. I can't see my camera, but I'm assuming you were able to see that. Goo Gone, yes. Remove sticky stuff.
Okay.
You can get that at the dollar store.
What do you use that for?
I personally use it when I make either my DIY box filters out of these, or when I make the DIY fry bins out of these. I'll use it to get the adhesive off on here. Of course, you want to make sure that you give them a really, 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 really good cleaning. Throw that disclaimer in there, get all the chemicals off. But that stuff works great for getting the adhesive off.
That's what I use.
Try and pull the labels off of there. Furless Aquatics is done with water changes. Finally, I understand. I water changed all the hallway tanks today. So, Mr. Zen, good to see you. I know you have been a busy man. I appreciate you swinging by here and throwing down a $5 super sticker with the "How's it going" pair. I appreciate that, buddy.
Ooh,
really,
that was
really
a good
do.
one.
That was a good one.
That looked like
I know Mr. Zen just wants to see the boa and the glasses. He's missed the boa and the glasses. Yes, John Cox said, then rinse, rinse, rinse. That's absolutely it. And John Cox mentioned you can use Dawn to get the Goo Gone off of it. Yep. I usually will. Just make sure everything gets a really good rinsing, that you don't have any type of chemicals on there. Afterwards, you'll be good to go. I've done it many, many times. Somebody did mention the next one. I've got a whole chair full of props over here. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Super glue. Good old cyanoacrylate gel. If you're lucky, you can find these bonus packs with 3 tubes in there instead of 2. 2 is the standard, but anytime I see that they have the 3 packs for $1 on this super glue gel, I will buy every single one they have, minus maybe 1 or 2 I'll leave in case somebody has to have it. Love this stuff. Definitely recommend, if you can catch them when they have the 3 packs in, buy that stuff up. Unless you're local to me at my stores, just leave it for me. But definitely recommend that. Yep, I love it. That's my go-to, the 2+1 bonus.
Well, every time I go into the Dollar Tree and there's not a line, I grab 5 packs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's normally always a line.
Right. So that is great for, of course, attaching plants to driftwood or rock. It's great for attaching, smaller pieces of rock together when you're doing aquascaping. Lots of different aquascaping needs. If you're in the saltwater side, coral frags and things like that. But then it is also wonderful for, and I don't have one in here, I actually use it when I make my do-it-yourself breeder boxes, and I put that piece of mesh, that square right there on the front. I will go on the inside and super glue it in. So that's how I hold that in place.
Very nice.
John McKenzie says, don't forget the nail polish remover for when you glue your fingers together. I just use the Piranhas. They take the super glue right off. I mean, it works great. Yeah. They get a little bit of the skin too, but you're good.
Yeah, this is just like nail polish remover. I do have nail polish remover in the other room though too. I've got lighter fluid. I don't know if you can see it, James.
I cannot. I've got you covered with the chat because it kind of sits right underneath my camera when I do that. I always hide Ed.
Yeah, that's all right. I do too.
So James Black says, how did you get into the aquarium hobby? I it's kind of, I always say it's in my blood. You know, I grew up, even though I'm in Tennessee now, I grew up Jacksonville Beach, Florida. My parents had a shrimping business and then a marine construction business. So I grew up on the water. Grew up playing with aquatic critters, and just fell in love with all things aquatic. At one point, my father actually owned a fish store. And then, you know, I wanted to go for marine biology. It was really my passion. Things happened and met the missus. At that point in time, she was dead set on never leaving Tennessee. So I figured that was not a great thing to go extremely far in debt to have a PhD in marine biology in Tennessee. So bypass that, but everything happens for a reason. I probably wouldn't be here if I had done that. You know, wouldn't have her, wouldn't have the kids. And it's just one of those things that when I don't have it in my life, you can definitely tell that something is missing. Ed?
I was, I think, 3 years old, and my dad brought home one of those round bowls, you know, and this was before Walmart. So I don't know if it was Kmart or Venture or where, but he, you know, it was just a little round bowl, fish bowl, and he bought I can just remember it all perfectly. He bought a little castle that was fluorescent orange, pink, and blue to put in it, and he got a black and an orange molly. And I had the black molly was for me, and my sister had the orange molly, and he used normal tap water and killed them. So the next day we flushed them. But after that, I was hooked. I just watching those fish in that bowl struggling for life. Of course, I didn't know they were dying.
Right.
But then he went out, and you know, some people would quit. Not my dad. He went out and did it right the second time, and so yeah.
Well, that's awesome, and thank goodness he did, because we would maybe not have you here if he hadn't, you know, carried on with it.
Yeah.
I do want to grab these real quick. We got Eric with Furloughs Aquatics. My man says, just because, take my money, with all the crying, laughy faces, with the $15 super chat. Eric, Furloughs Aquatics. Man, I really, really do appreciate your support. And I'm, like I said, really enjoying the content you've got going on over on your channel. Haven't seen any Fish Room Fever unboxings over there. I'm just giving you a hard time. But seriously, I appreciate the support, the membership, super chats, the orders. Eric, you have been phenomenally awesome, and I appreciate that more than you know, my friend.
I have a very quick question off subject, but John said that somebody else that knows about Venture stores in Tennessee. Do you know what Venture? I mean, wasn't Ventures everywhere?
Hold on a second. Repeat that.
I guess not. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I assumed that Venture was everywhere.
Oh, why does that sound familiar?
It was just like it was a big box store like Dolgen's and Kmart and TG and Y.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but Venture was like the nicest because you'd walk in and they had like a food court that smelled so good because they always cooked these giant cookies, sugar cookies. I loved it just to smell the place.
Before I move any further on the list, I want to say a huge thank you to another awesome supporter and new channel startup, Mike's Aquatics and Things, with the $5 super sticker. I don't know if I like that one. It went the right direction.
And it's kind of going good.
Yeah, it was like, no. You know, we can actually add these to the list. 6 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Great investment if you're trying to provide some extra fun entertainment during your streams or videos or something, you know. Just another thing to add to the party. But thank you, Mike, for the $5 super sticker with the Karate Fox. I think people are doing that just to see me do the emojis, and that's okay because I enjoy it.
That's my favorite one.
I love that. That's very cool.
I'm in Top Chat.
You're in Top Chat. Shame on you.
I didn't see the super chat.
Marco Isadori says, hi, Fish Room Fever. Hi, Ed. Hi, everyone. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, we got 59 people watching and 39 thumbs ups. Y'all are awesome, and I do really, really appreciate that. Pegasus Arena says, Fish Room Fever. A couple of the decorations in Kaya's tank is from the Dollar Tree, Fairy Garden items, and the Christmas Village items. Yes, you mentioned that, and I think that is very, very cool. Just of course, with anything you get, make sure that it's going to be, tank safe. Or give it a really good rinse. Just general. Everybody probably knows things. Don't buy the decorations with glitter and that kind of stuff. Here we go. All right. I don't see any other highlighted questions. So I'm going to move on to my next thing. That is these gallons of water you can get for $1. Now, hear me out. I know you can get a gallon of water just about anywhere for $1. This stuff tastes really good. And I think, make sure this lid's on here good, or that would be probably really, really funny. Y'all can probably guess what we're going to be DIYing out of this thing. That's in a video coming soon. But I figure if nothing else, just for the bottle, I was willing to spend $1 for it because it does have the really nice slope right there. So I think that's going to be awesome for a DIY brine shrimp hatchery.
Oh, not what I was guessing.
What were you guessing at?
Well, I have like the floating media.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought you were going to make a filter out of it.
Yeah, you could do that too. Definitely. That would be a really nice, actually, that would probably be an awesome box filter I could build out of this for like the 220. Another video idea. See, this is why I love this community, because you might have one thing in mind, one idea, and somebody else looks at it and goes, hey, I think it looks like this. But yeah, I think that's going to be a great brine shrimp hatchery. Good big size to it. I really like the slopes. So we're going to play with that. Like I said, the water actually tastes good too. Furloughs Aquatics says would totally pay to see that happen. Oh, you're going to have to hit me up on one of the later night streams. I'm too awake to intentionally dump a half a gallon of water in my lap for money. Probably. I don't know. You never know. I did it last week for free. I just happened to do it off camera. It wasn't a half a gallon. It was just my mug. But
oh, is that during my stream?
Yeah. That was when I had to go camera off because I spilt my mug. Fortunately, mug's in one piece, but I spilt it all over myself. So Mrs. Fever says, lurking, not ignoring. I like that. I'm going to remember that for when we're outside of the streams. Did you hear me? I was lurking. I wasn't ignoring. What? Black Label Carling says, I use those to hold bettas in QT. That's another awesome idea.
Yeah, I have my sister saving all of their corn pop, or I don't know if it's corn pop, cheese pops, cheese balls from Sam's. They have like a huge family, 6 kids. So they like to buy the great big round things that look like a barrel.
Yeah.
And I told her, start saving those for me, because I thought I would maybe just throw fry in there to grow them out.
Absolutely. Then Rico Stan says, I just put one of those bottles in the recycling today. I did hesitate, though, and tried to think of what I could use it for. It's kind of like boxes. I'm sure we all have this thing with boxes. As you get older, you start to look at a box and you go, this is a really good box. Do I want to throw this thing away? I could use this for something. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think a lot of people are like that, though.
Every time I get a box, I just throw it on the floor because I know that
the cats
going to be the cats are going to use it.
Yes, absolutely.
But baby cat chews or doesn't chew, but she scrapes out the bottoms of them all. I mean, I could go grab one quick. Let me show you what she does.
So I'm going to say real quick, Kenny E. Danican Aquatics, I missed you earlier. I want to say hello to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Nick G says, have either of you done a local wild caught style tank? So I have not done a biotope-ish tank in terms of the entire setup. I do have some wild caught fish that we collected in Florida with Father Fish in a couple tanks. I've got the Heterandria formosa, the least Achilles, and then Gambusia, and then I've got Fungulus and something else. But I didn't set any of those tanks up like native biotopes. I think if I lived down there still, I most definitely would, but just happened not to.
Did you see that box that I had up here? She loves to sleep in it, but she's ripped 2 holes in it so far, and the mess in the fish room from it.
So Amy is asking with Sand Creek Aquatics too, what's the most inexpensive way to do a brine shrimp hatchery for me to try to make sure I can do it? There are a lot of different ways to make them. I would say you've probably already got a 2-liter bottle around. The easiest way to guarantee success would be to just order the lids. They have the bottle caps on Amazon that you just screw right onto the 2-liter bottle that has the valves on it. So you don't have to do any like drilling or gluing or anything. So like for this one, I'm going to actually add the valves into this lid, but I'm going to have to drill the holes and set those in there. The easiest way would just be to buy one of those packs of the lids off of Amazon and then screw those onto a 2-liter bottle. Of course, cut the bottom of it off as you flip it upside down. Yes, Daniken Golden Top Minnows. And
buy the small thing of fry or the eggs.
Yep.
Because you don't want a whole $50 bucket in case you don't like doing it. So you can just buy like a little test tube of it. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, absolutely. I agree 100%. Furloughs Aquatics says that's how me and my wife became hoarders. We might need that box. Yes, I had to part with some boxes that I had in storage for quite a few years when we cleaned out our storage unit. And I'm like, I could still, and I'm like, no, I haven't used that box in, several years. We're just going to toss it. It's hard to get rid of a good box.
Well, I tell you, the one box that everybody should save is when you buy fish.
Yes.
Because eventually you're going to mail something out to somebody else. Like I have all my Dan's Fish boxes still because they're super made cool. I've got 2 from Jesse. Whenever I get them, I save them because they've already been, cut for foam and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just put the lid on and go. I have to hide those from the cats.
I do usually save those. I will say I'm not saving them quite as much now just because I have well over 100 different actual shipping boxes. Because if you're going to ship a decent amount of fish and plants, you can order free boxes off of USPS.com and they'll be delivered right to your house. But I still always save the styrofoam and the insulation and stuff. Like I have different packing areas to save all that stuff in. But depending on the box, sometimes I save them, sometimes I don't anymore. Depends on how beat up they are when they get here. But,
I've been saving is those styrofoam ones that drugs come in.
Yep.
I have a mom, dad that are both elderly, and they both get lots and lots of meds. And I get about 2 to 3 of those a month. So I've been saving them just in case I ever start shipping in the winter or something, or, need to ship something in the winter.
Absolutely. And Amazon, you can get some nice styrofoam boxes off of Amazon, styrofoam coolers even.
Oh, yeah?
I got some of the, I can't think of what they are. The really expensive chocolates, an entire big checkout size box that you would see, like the 3 for $2 chocolates. And they actually, Amazon shipped those in a nice styrofoam cooler inside of the box and then with ice packs inside of it. So I was like, yes, free styrofoam cooler. And then I was like, chocolates are awesome too. I love this cooler. But let me see. Sand Creek Aquatic 2 says, Fisherman Fever, what are those lids called on Amazon? I will find that and get it to you. Jesse Camacho says, we just all love boxes, or we just love all boxes. Yes, absolutely. And then James Black says, Fisherman Fever, a good idea is to save the fish bags you get from the fish store. You can use these for transporting fish from one aquarium to another and shipping the fish. Yes, and also for the good old sponge filter cleaning method, like Corey talks about, bag the sponge filter in the tank, pull it out. And I did that for a very, very long time. Once I actually got to where I was, I want to say legitimately shipping fish, but businessy, I guess, if you will. Once I opened the site, I was like, no, I'm just going to buy the breather bags. But no, that's a very awesome idea if you're not going bigger scale and you're just shipping from time to time. Lots of awesome uses for those bags. Mm-hmm. Kenny at Aquatic Marine says, why are people talking about Ed here? We love Ed. Ed, don't let me forget, tomorrow when you come over, I've got your Aquatic Marine shirt.
Yeah, that is so cool. Thank you so much, Kenny. I was trying to buy one about a month ago, but you guys didn't have one in my size. Darn it. But I guess it's better that I didn't. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So my next one is these non-scratch scouring pads with the handle on it. And of course, in the same section, you've got like the pot scrubbies people will use for like the DIY biomedia. and a lot of other stuff like that. I really love these things for scrubbing out tanks, especially if you're buying used tanks. You need to give them a good scrubbing, or maybe you're breaking down a tank and you want to clean it completely out and start over. Fish Tropic, I saw you in here earlier. What's up, Dank Tanks? Hello, good to see you. Thirsty Rabbit Takes to you. Good day. But these, absolutely love these things. I've got quite a few of these, and I just keep them hung up. That's why this one still has the paper on it. I've got one I'm using right now, and I've got 2 or 3 of these that still have the paper on them. And I've got like not a pegboard system, but Cortana on my computer is recording every word I'm saying to try and search it. Go away, Cortana.
And can you use that on acrylic, or can it only be used on glass?
So I have not used these on acrylic. I would say if you're going to use them on acrylic, do it ever so gently. It does say it is a non-scratch scourer, but I mean, so it's safe for non-stick cookware. Take that as you will. I think it would probably, if you pushed hard on it, it have the potential to scratch up some acrylic. I'll have to take a piece of scrap acrylic and do some testing on that now that you've asked, and we will find out. Skipper's Aquariums, what's going on? Hey, Aquatic Marine, Kenny says, do not use on acrylic with 27 exclamation points.
Yeah, see, I've been just terrified of that, trying that. But they sell these super nice white ones that you can use on acrylic, and I mean, they work good.
Yeah, you even got some of those for me, those magic erasers.
Yep. But I do use this on my glass. But yes. I probably paid a whole bunch for it. I've got a couple of these. I love these.
No, I like those. I will use those more for in tank. I do use these in tank, but I won't use them when the water is topped off. So like if I've got some really tough algae in a glass tank, once I've got the water drained down, I'll scrub it then. But I don't know why. I guess because I've got my hand right there for some reason, I just don't feel like scrubbing the glass when the tank is full with no extended handle.
Does that work better than using a razor blade? I mean, a razor blade could scratch glass.
Yeah, I won't say that it works better. If you just look at the size equivalent, it's a lot more efficient. Yes, and also there are a lot of times that I don't really need a razor blade. I mean, if it's just a dirty tank that I'm picking up that's used, and it's maybe just got like legitimate dirt and stuff, or maybe they let crap dry on the inside of it because it was neglected, I just go with this.
My bandana has little octopuses on it.
Hey, because Beth, Lefty 3213. Hey, what's going on, my friend? But yeah, that's another very, very, very fun thing to have. Okay, which one do we want to go with next? And there are probably 30 other things that I use, and there are a lot of seasonal things. I got a lot of like 2-foot bamboo skewers when barbecue season was in. And I found those were really great for like cucumbers and stuff for the plecos, that I could just stick it on the end of that and shove that thing down in there. And instead of having to fish out a fork, the handle sticking out of the tank. So I could just pull the handle back, pull that whole skewer back out when they were done with it.
You could probably use that to remove dead fish.
Yep. You just spear them.
That sounds so gross. I use a shrimp net to pull up dead guppies.
Eric at Furloughs Aquatic says, all right, y'all, now it's reptile maintenance time. Have a good night, everyone. Eric, I appreciate you swinging by. Thank you for the super chat once again, my friend. And don't work too hard, but get those enclosures clean for them. And take it easy, my friend. These right here. People are going to go, what do I want that big flavor injector for with that massive needle? Well, these...
Does it have a needle?
It does have a needle.
Oh, wow.
These work.
They make wonderful squirt guns.
Yes, they make wonderful squirt guns. I don't want to pop it open right now because I don't want to lose the needle. But these work really well for target treating. If you're using hydrogen peroxide to try and target treat on like blackbeard algae in the tank, you can just squeeze in there. Now, I will say the needle has the holes on the side that's not directly on the actual end of the tip. I have a Dremel, so I can just knock that off, or you can treat, from the sides. Just depends on exactly how precise you need it to be. But one of my kind of less thought of things that I haven't really seen everywhere.
Boy,
Oh, there's Ed.
James, you're really kind of going in and out.
You're kind of going in and out.
You're really breaking up.
You're breaking
Oh, maybe I'm the one. I'm sorry.
I don't know. We can look at the... Let's go to the chat for a final review here. Who are we losing?
Who should be talking?
Make sure we are still on Ethernet. John Cox says sounds good here. All right.
I don't know why.
Hello, Pam. Lefty says we're breaking up. No, Ed and I are not breaking up. Aquatic Marine says you both sound like last week. All right. So,
all right, it must just be.
All right. We're just having internal issues here. Let's pause that. All righty. Ed, you have something there you wanted to share with the group?
I do. Whenever I have eggs, like with cichlids, which I actually do have some cichlids, I use little flashlights. And one of the flashlights I use is like a spotlight that I can turn. I bought that at Lowe's for like $8. So I'm not showing that one. But this one I got at the dollar store. Sorry, I said the dollar store. Dollar General, I think. But it's supposed to be from the Dollar Tree, right?
Oh, that's fine.
Well, maybe I
got it. Was it $1?
Yeah, it was really cheap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what it does is it shoots light up through it, and this one kind of makes it wavy too. So it's like moving inside. But if you have some lights on with your cichlids, they can protect their eggs, and they can see their eggs throughout the night. But if everything goes black, the eggs sometimes disappear. And that just happened to me just this week. I had 2 cichlids. They had a whole pack of eggs, and I forgot the nightlights one night, and all the eggs were disappeared. And I'm sure it's because I've got 2 juvenile bichers in there, and they're going to be eating at night. So they probably sucked them all up. Well, in the morning, the father cichlid, he was mad at everybody in the tank. He was chasing the girl. He was chasing the bichers. He was just mad. So nightlights are great if you're having problems with like angelfish eating their eggs at night. They'll eat their eggs if they think somebody else is going to eat them because they can't see it. So put a little light on, and $1. And but I actually have the nicer one that I actually direct towards the tank, and then this one gives like the wavy mood light. Still $2. Buy 2 of them. Yes.
Very, very nice. Several people saying they're either lurking and driving or lurking and eating. Very much appreciate that. Priscilla, again, thank you for the calendar. I mentioned it earlier. And
I got mine today
another link in there for anybody that wants to order one of those awesome 2021 Fish Art 13-month calendars.
Oh, can I say something quick about the calendar?
Yes.
Priscilla is donating one of the calendars for me to give away on my Thursday night show this week.
All right.
That's
super
cool.
Awesome. So KG Tropicals is going to, of course, they stream before us on Thursday night. He's going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my hour, and then Ed's going to be doing a giveaway on his hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, clear your Thursday night.
It'll be Christmas.
It will be. Just in case we don't get that far in 2020.
Oh my gosh, how this year's going.
I'm not going to digress too far. I do want to say, though, I saw a post, and it was apes that were hunting with spears, and they were paddling wood. They were paddling a boat and hunting with spears. And I'm like, the way 2020 is going, we don't need Planet of the Apes.
The best thing of 2020, I think, has been the calendar.
Yes, it is.
That and the big fish deal. That was tremendous fun because everybody, all the YouTubers forgot to, or they were all afraid to show up. And so the few YouTubers that went, like James and I, we ended up getting to do all the work, and it was so much fun.
It was amazing.
Wonderful.
All right. So this one is a kind of more commonly talked about one, but I couldn't go on without mentioning them. These 3-prong outlets / extensions. Now, they just have a small cord on them, but these are really, really great. We're going to rip this thing out of the package here.
I've never looked at those before. That's pretty cool.
Oh, the hardware store is one of my favorites, or hardware section is one of my favorite parts of the store. And I'm not even going to get into like the sandpaper and just cheap tools and all that stuff. Just look in the dollar, or when you're in the dollar store, look in the tool section. It will very quickly become the $50 store. Priscilla says also donating $25 for Fish Room Fever to give away from his store. Priscilla, thank you. I didn't have to do that. That is amazing. Wow. So yes, Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an awesome, awesome Thursday. But so here's the length on it. Not super long. These are great if you have, for example, I've got several lights that require 2 ballast and 2 plugs. So these are great for that. I'll plug these in and then I can get both of those lights in there. Another thing, I didn't grab it, but I meant to, is if you've got one of the bigger timers, you know, those things take up a lot of space on your actual power strip or in your wall outlet. So you can stick your timer on this. That way it's eating up space here versus taking up space on your, yes. So, I mean, instead of that going in your wall and taking up all the space, or that going on your 6 outlet strip or 8 outlet strip, you can plug one of these in. It's only occupying 1 plug worth of space, and then hook it in here. It also makes it a little bit easier to get to if you have to get to that manual on and off on there. If you've got this thing a little further out. Yeah. I love taking some, which again, you can get it at the dollar store. The hook and loop Velcro, you can get that there. I'll stick that on there so I can mount this wherever, and then have that timer right where I want it.
These are my favorite timer. And of course, I didn't get them at the dollar store. It's like $10 at Walmart. But look, it's got side plugs. I love that. So you can do 2 different things instead of just one.
I've got those. I absolutely love those dual plugs.
Normally, what I do is I put the big plug in, you know, like what you just had, into here. And then I can put 3 lights onto that.
That's
except
what
I
do.
use bigger.
Legal disclaimer: if you burn your house down, it's not my fault because I'm not encouraging you to do this. But I actually have some of the 8 plug outlets that are run into the side of that exact same timer. Like my entire hallway section, it's on an 8 plug outlet, and then it's plugged into the side of that, so it flips on the entire hallway section on the timers.
Just don't put heaters on it. But like lights are such low wattage, I think you'd be fine. I mean, you're like talking 4 to 8 watts for a lot of these lights. So the LED lights.
Hey, Sarah M. Snow, good to see you. And Lefty3213A says, I just use the outlets where half the strip is a timer. Well, look here, Mr. Fancy Pants. Some of us are cheap, okay? Not all of us are buying 14 dozen bettas from John at a time.
He lives in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. Just kidding, Lefty's good to see you. And I don't blame you. The other thing going with that, of course, would be the 3 outlet. Now, these are a 2-prong, not a 3-prong, but you get still 3 plugs out of this, and you get a 6-foot cord. So,
you know, I bought those, but the holes didn't have a fat side.
These do have a fat side, just like me, especially during quarantine.
I'm just fat everywhere.
These do have a fat side to them. I have seen the ones you're talking about, though. I hate when I get those by mistake.
They're brown.
Yeah. These are
white. That's green. That's cool.
These are great for, let's say, like my Fluval Spec, the 5-gallon tank. I have it off by itself. It has the light, the heater, and the pump. So I didn't have to worry about getting it right at the outlet. And this is actually going on that Fluval because I need to replace the cord that's on there. But this was great for that. This one plug saved me. It, cleared up my outlets and all that. So I can run this over to that side of the tank, plug in everything for that one tank. If I need to do maintenance on it or really drain the water down low, pull this one thing out. Heater, pump, all that is off, done and over with. And who doesn't need another 6-foot extension cord for $1,
Heck yeah. I forgot Scotty's from Connecticut too. So we got a whole bunch of really rich people watching us.
Pewfish Zone says, Fisherman Fever, go to Harbor Freight. Good prices too. Yes, absolutely. That's where I got my shop vac at. Whereas Mrs. Fever says her shop vac because she went and picked it up.
I love shop vacs.
Yes, Scott's Aquatic says we all overload. Yes, I am guilty of flipping a breaker or two in my time. Hey, Neve MTA, good to see you. Just real quick, I don't know if Black Label touched base with you. I know she said she found your request, but she did say that was cool in regards to what you had emailed me about. So just letting you know, since I haven't emailed you back yet. Lefty32138 says, you don't want to know how much those fish cost me. Fish Room Fever. I cringed after I checked out. Yes, I can only imagine. But I'm sure they're absolutely gorgeous.
We can figure it out by going to the website and counting how many you got.
Yeah. But I mean, they're beautiful fish, and I think it's awesome supporting John and Lisa. I'm glad John finally took the plunge into quitting his job. You know, he was so scared to leave his full-time job.
I didn't realize he gave up the furniture business.
Yeah, I know he was working it kind of like as a side gig and was having Lisa schedule stuff out. But yeah, he had mentioned he finally felt secure, and that's part of why they had the store also. So yeah, like Lefty3213 says, they're well worth the money. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. Not that he needs my help, but if you haven't checked out keepfishkeeping.com for KG Tropicals, awesome bettas and other things, I would highly suggest you check them out. All right, let's see. We have got, how long is this show? We're done, right? No, I'm just kidding.
We got
about 45 minutes. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to get through everything, but we're moving right along fairly nicely. All right. You want more common idea or less common idea? Oh, yes.
I like these little toothpicks. You can buy a whole bag of them, and they have like 8 different types. Make sure you get the one with the thick end, like the thick thread, because they also have ones that are real thin.
Yep.
And they hurt when you do your teeth.
Absolutely.
But it's awesome. Yeah, I don't really use them in the fish tanks. But when I need, I use them. And, but I also use them as cat toys. So when the cats are really bugging me, I just wing it through the door, and they run out of the fish room.
Jay Jr. says, what number of items are we up to? I joined late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Boy, we are trucking.
Now, I will also, my upcoming video is going to be a 10 things style video. I mean, it is going to be about 10 of these items, but I wanted to do this with you all tonight because there's a lot more than 10 items we can talk about. Also, you know, getting suggestions off you all, things like Ed saying, well, I would think that would be great for this. So I thought it would be a really fun discussion for tonight. But there will also be a nice little video of my top 10 items and how I use them. So next, I'm going to go with one of the more commonly seen or thought about ones. That's going to be these awesome little colanders.
Oh, cool.
These are great for hats when you get super chats. You just, no, I'm just, these are great. These are great for, yeah. Rinse and gravel, of course. I mean, I think that's kind of what everybody would think right away.
Not me.
Kind of my primary use. Makeshift breeder box. That's another one.
Not me. That's not what I thought first.
We'll go for it, Ed.
Pouring water into your tank. Water changes.
Yeah, I can see it. So you're talking about running water through it.
Yep.
Okay. When you said using it to pour water into your tank, I'm like, you can't pour water in because there's holes in it. I didn't know if you were doing one of your goofball things or not. But no, that is another good one for helping to diffuse the water so that you don't stir up the substrate. Somebody mentioned makeshift breeder box. Absolutely. You could put like the female guppy in there and then the babies could swim out. I also like to use these for floating plant separation. So like say if I'm picking an order, and you could do this just if you wanted to keep them from growing out too much in like a grow out tank or whatnot. I will stick them in there and let them float so that they're kind of separated. Stuffing your face with spring rolls. I want some spring rolls, Priscilla.
Oh, man. S just said that, oh, maybe I shouldn't say what he said just in case you're going to go there eventually.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
He says that they have measuring pipettes.
They do.
For $1 for a pack of 10?
If you can find them, yes. If you can find them, yes. I have a hard time getting them around me. Jessica Malcho says, "Hey, rich people got a rainbow for 300." But yeah, the pipettes is an awesome one. Another thing that I've taken and used before is the turkey basters, but I've actually attached I don't think I have it over here at the moment, a valve, like one of the airline twisty valves on the turkey basters to decrease flow, and you can use that for feeding brine shrimp and stuff like that. Yep, like Carlos Aquatic says, use them for rinsing new substrate. That's my biggest one. Rinsing new substrate, and then also for scooping out old substrate. So if I'm trying to clean out a tank, break down a tank, these come in handy for that very much. But
I got another question real quick.
Thanks since for you just my segue, Ed.
No, you segued into turkey basters.
We touched on it and then we left there. We did segues. No, go ahead, Ed.
Well, now they have turkey basters that have like no drip.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get one of those?
I think Corey ordered his online. It did have some dripping issues though. But yeah, that's actually, I am working on a prototype for a $1 no drip turkey baster.
Nice.
It's in the process. As with anything DIY, there are going to be some failures. I haven't got it completely drip free yet, but I am working on modifying a turkey baster to be no drip from the Bucko store.
That's a big hole.
Yeah, like John Cox says, the turkey baster, I got their leaks down too much. So does mine. That's why I took one of the little blue airline valves, the airline adjustment valves, and just super glued it in the tip. That way I could get a really refined drip down to what I wanted on it. That's not a no drip, but it definitely doesn't pour out like they do when you get them straight from there. Priscilla said maybe to keep Ed's duckweed collection. Yes, this is for Ed's duckweed collection.
Gosh darn, I got my pick from the dollar store for $1.
There you go.
Should I show it?
If you want to.
Well, you're doing the pooper scooper, I'll get that.
The pooper scooper. So we were talking about scooping substrate. This is my go-to right here for scooping substrate. $1. It's got a nice deep basket to it, unlike the generic pooper scooper scoopies. I don't know. It's really thick. I like it. I like the design of it. It's got a little bit narrower tip than your normal pooper scooper that's slotted and just generic. You can even I've scooped up sand with these. The holes are fine enough to do that.
Nice.
Don't know how well it would go for rinsing. If you had a small amount of stuff, you could, but I'd recommend the Colander for that. But this is like my go-to substrate scooper slash flattener outer, because you've got a nice flat edge there. If you wanted to round some stuff off, you could get into different aquascaping designs with the different textures and shapes that you've got on it. So just an awesome little thing to have for $1. It's got a nice big hanging hole, so you can just hang it up on your rack of hanging things. That would be another thing. A lot of times you can find like the over the door hangers with several hooks on them at the Dollar Tree. I love those things. I like to hang them off of my 2x4 stands, and that way I can hang stuff like this up.
So how did the turkey baster segue into that?
It didn't. This segued into that, and then you broke that segue with the turkey baster.
Well, you mentioned the turkey baster, and I just happened to have one on the table.
And there we go. Pegasus Arena says, everything James has shown so far is always in stock at the Dollar Tree 2 blocks from my apartment.
This comes in a 3-pack, and it comes with 2 other brushes that I don't know what I did with because I don't have any hair. But this is what I wanted, and it is awesome. If you have duckweed, get one of these. It's amazing. I will demonstrate. Let me see what tank has some duckweed.
While he is doing that, Mike's Aquatics coming in with the $1 super pooper sticker, throwing some fertilizer on the stream. Mike, I appreciate you, buddy. Helping that duckweed grow with that pooper super chat.
Just like that. No fry come up with it.
I love it.
Now on.
But how am I going to get my protein in my salad if I'm not getting any fry with my duckweed?
Well, occasionally snails will still get
perfect. Escargot will work. And we've got, there it is, Petzotic / multiple aquariums. Diego, how are you? It's another awesome website you all should check out, multipleaquariums.com. There they are. I was hunting with $2.47 super chat. Says, I'll buy that for $1. Yeah, absolutely. I'll buy that for $1. Well, that one ricochet. That was a good one. They super powder packed that thing. Oh, I see you all talking football, Shy. It's not that I'm not paying attention. It's just that I'm ignoring it because it's football talk and we're talking fish.
Ooh, I'm easily distracted.
Yes,
what's
it is.
the football questions?
Shy wants Kenny's help with the Fish Fam Football League, and Kenny's saying, well, James has my number. So that's enough of that. I see it. I'm just choosing not to acknowledge it. Hey, Oddball, what's going on? Pasiwi, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Rock for Fish Keeping. If I missed you earlier, which I think I did, I'm sorry. And hello to you, my friend.
Kenny's in 4th place.
All right. So, Ed, you got anything else?
Yeah, I'm in 2nd place.
I don't care. I technically only joined because I was asked to host the thing and I needed to be able to access what was going on. But I know Mrs. Fever takes it very seriously. So I'm going to move on to my next thing since I don't know that if you've got anything else or not. Once again, over in the cookware section, you've got this chopper scraper thing. Now, I just recently got this because I wanted to give it a go. It's a really nice, I'm not going to say it's stainless because it's from the dollar store, so it's probably just cheap rustable metal that is shiny. But chopper, scraper. It's even got a little, little 6-inch? Yeah, a little 6-inch ruler marked on it. I'm sure you're not going to be able to see.
Oh, wow.
This thing is awesome for scraping algae on glass tanks. Don't use this on acrylic. Got a really nice wide area to it. So especially on the bigger tanks that have a lot more surface area, this thing worked really well. It's got the built-in handle right there, and it just took that algae right off. So this is kind of what I've gone to versus the razor blade now.
That looks like something I could chop up shrimp with.
Yeah, you could. It's a kitchen chopper. It's designed so you can chop up your veggies or whatever, and then you can just scoop them up and add them to whatever you add them to. Yeah. John Cox is, yeah, they're awesome. And again, just $1. John Cox's Fisher Fever just had an idea chopping redworms. Yes, there you go. That would definitely work. I mean, it's a nice thick metal. It's got a little flex to it, which is nice for when you're trying to scrape the tanks, but it's not super bendy, so you're not going to bend it while you're pushing on that. And again, I love the handle aspect of it. You got a lot more surface area when you're working on scraping glass with this versus Amy at Sacred Aquatics 2 says, I need one of those for chicken salad, LOL. Yeah, so get you two. Get one for yourself and one for the tank, and you'll be good to go. And that's another thing. I need to use a little bit of that Goo Gone on there. S says, great for pizza night as well. Absolutely.
I think you could also use it as a defensive tool if you're cornered in your fish room.
You could. I'm
looking around. I've got the lighter fluid, but I don't have any matches. So that's not going to help. I could whack them with my
probably, I'm not going to put a hole in the wall. I was tempted to do it for the sake of doing it, but I'm not going to do that and then get drywall all over my nice chopper thingy.
Probably throw a sponge filter at someone. That would hurt.
Bless you, Mrs. Fever. I heard a sneeze from the other room.
With my luck, though, I'd hit them with the sponge part.
Yeah.
I have aquarium salt. I could crush that and blow it into their eyes.
Absolutely. I've got my stainless steel straw here. I can make some sort of a dart gun, or at least high velocity spitballs,
Oh, I could crush the salt, put it in my turkey baster, and blow it into their eyes. Okay, let's go back to more dollars.
Oh, goodness. Oh. The Zen Ginger, exactly. Zen Ginger, and also good to see you, Zen. I don't think I said that earlier, but I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the work you're putting in as a mod, as always. Says, why is Ed concerned with self-defense in his fish room? Is this a problem that comes up frequently? Only from the cats, I think. I've seen him attacked a couple times by the cats.
Nobody messes with my fish. We'll just leave it like that.
There you go. Absolutely.
I protect my fish.
There was that one time I started to pull a filter out of one of his tanks, and he turned around and a ninja star flew into the wall right next to my hand. It was really scary. But all right, I have technically three things, but two of them are kind of the same thing. Lots of other stuff we could talk about, but in terms of props, I've only got two more props here. Mrs. Fevers and Nico beats him up. Baby cat really gets him if she tries, or if she's in the chair and he wants it, she's like, So these, there are two sizes. So this is a 4-pack. These are little glass vials, containers. This is a 17 milliliter. These I like. So I take one of these with me everywhere I go, filled with Prime when we go to out-of-town fish things, in case I need to treat some water. So you can treat 170 gallons of water with one of these filled with Prime.
That's really neat.
Yep.
I never paid attention.
The other thing is, and one of these has water in it, and I've gotten water on my stuff when I was trying to shove it in there. These are a 6 ml or 0.2 fluid ounces. You get 5 of these for $1. These are a little teeny version. So these, there's another use coming for these things, but I love these. So 6 mLs. This one's got, I don't know if you can see the water level in there or not. It's got exactly 5 mLs in there right now.
Of water?
Of water, yes. So one of the things that these are awesome for, show of hands, raise your hand if you've ever had an issue with breaking one of your water treatment or water testing kit vials. Now, why are you raising your hand? I can't see you. Come on, do that if you raise your hand. But seriously, I've had several of those 5 ml API glass vials break, you know, that you do your water test in. You get 5 of these for $1 to replace those.
That's awesome.
So you can do your water test in here. You've got the little screw-on cap, so you got, maybe you might be able to see it better without the lid. So there's 5 mLs of water in there. Ooh, it's not going to focus.
What's the real purpose, though? Why do they sell that?
It's part of the crafting section. So I don't know, maybe it's to make like little glitter keychains, or there's no telling, but they're in the crafting area. There's the hand raises. And I love you guys. I just enjoy doing that. But
it's so weird.
There's plenty of space in there. You get your 5 mLs of water with your little dropper. Really? I don't have a dropper? I'm going to have to work on my props. Anyways, 5 mLs of water. There's enough room in there for you to be able to drop in your however many droplets of test chemicals, depending upon which test you're doing. Do your shake up. There you go. The other great thing is, since you can now expand by buying 5 of these for $1, if you're one of those people that maybe wants to test an entire rack of tanks, you could go through, you could set all of these up for, you know, your nitrite. Get all your drops, shake them, set them on the tank. And that way you're getting 6 tanks tested at once or 8 tanks tested at once. Versus having to do, I'm going to do 5 minutes for this treatment and then 5 minutes for that and then 5 minutes for that. Rico Stan says, knock on wood, I haven't broken a test tube yet. I have a little piece of foam I use to hold them as I fill them up with a syringe. Yes, so I actually have a 2x4 with about a dozen holes drilled out in it that I would use for multiple tank testing. So I'd get those filled up and I'd have them numbered so I knew which tanks they went to, and then I'd do, you know, 6 or 8 or a dozen nitrate tests all at once, or ammonia tests all at once, versus having to spend 5 minutes 10 times to test 10 tanks. I can get 10 tanks tested in 5 minutes and be done with it. Another great thing, and yeah, I touched on those. I talked about transporting chemicals in those. Those wouldn't really work for testing much of anything. But one thing that both of these come in handy for is fish food. You're going, that's not a whole lot of fish food. Well, it's plenty of fish food in a lot of different scenarios. If you're going out of town, you're worried about somebody overfeeding your tank. Again, 4 for $1, 5 for $1. So even if you got 20 tanks, it's $4. You fill this up and you go, okay, or you put however much in there and you go, okay, there's one of these on each tank. Open it, dump it in. That's what they get. You know, really simple for ensuring your tank doesn't get overfed when you go out of town. These work because if you've got bigger fish food that needs to go in there, it's not going to work for like your monster pellets and things. But like say maybe you've got, you know, some big fella pellets, or you've got a lot of fish in a tank that take a medium-sized pellet or something like that. Ginger says, I bought the pack of replacement test tubes from API on Amazon. Silly me, LOL. Fantastic. Hey, Fantastic Freaks. How's it going, buddy? Says, I let my duckweed grow, then scoop it up with a net and put it in my goldfish tank. They treat duckweed like a child would candy. Yes. I will scoop it and put it in my piranha tank a lot of times. Because even if I do get guppy fry, the piranha are big enough that they don't care about the little guppy fry in there. And then they get a little bit bigger, and I can just get the guppy fry out when I need to.
Do the piranhas eat the duckweed?
Not so much. I have very, very rarely seen them eat the duckweed. They enjoy chewing on my Anubias that's in there, but they're not huge surface eaters anyways. So they don't really bother with the duckweed. There are a couple other uses for these things. My mind has disappeared.
I was thinking it'd be cool if you were like stuck out in the desert and you had a whole bunch of those with that little bit of water. If that would just be enough to keep you going for several hours.
Just enough, yes. This is your daily ration of water.
Well, maybe even just like for 2 hours.
That's what you do when you're going to the fish events. You just fill a bunch of these up in your pocket, and you got a little shot of water. Yeah, we're gonna say you've got water in there. You know, you might even be able to shove that down in your shoe there with your beverage refreshment.
You know what I use for like if somebody else is taking care of my tanks, like you were saying with those little things. Yeah. You can also buy those little baggies. They're like only half a sandwich or less than a quarter of a sandwich.
Yeah.
But you can put your stuff in there and tape it to the tank.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Only reason I like these is because A, I'm already going to have them, and B, they're reusable. So I don't have to spend any extra money. But I do like the baggies. Tim Carter with the $5 super chat. Tim, I appreciate you. Also an awesome member. Just throwing $5 at us. Says, hey, you know, I don't have anything I want to add on here, but I want to throw $5 your way, and I really, really appreciate you for that, Tim.
That's awesome.
Not that I wouldn't appreciate you if you had something to say, but I appreciate the $5 super chat, buddy, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope all your fishies are doing wonderful. Tim was another person that was awesome enough to do a nice order with me.
Rico said that he left a message on Facebook. I actually forgot to bring my phone in. I don't know. It's on the other side of the house somewhere. But I really hope the water lettuce went through fine. You have to let me know, because if you just put a bright light under it, like, I mean, I just have the cheap aquaneats, but because it's only a few inches above, they have gone crazy. I mean, they like double, like, I don't know how they grow so fast. You know, duckweed goes super fast. Well, so does the water lettuce. It's crazy.
Tim says, all is great. Glad to hear it, buddy. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mike's Aquatics and things says, wouldn't be water, I tell you. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of different things you could do with these. That's just a couple things that I've actually used them for. You know, another thing would be, if you're not testing your water at home, of course, taking water samples up to your LFS. You know, if you're going to take a water sample up to the LFS, which I recommend you do if you're new in the hobby, you're not testing your own water, or maybe you're testing your own water, but you're not totally confident in the results you're getting or how you're reading the measurements. Take a water sample with you when you go to your local fish store.
Do all local fish stores? I've never done that in my life. Do all local fish stores check your water for you?
Pretty much all of them will check your water. Pricing varies though.
So, they charge.
Yes, a lot of them do. Some of them do it for free. But you've got Kenny, Aquatic Marine. He's got this awesome water test thing. It's not just. It's a lot of stores you go in. They have the API Master Test Kit. They do the drops. They look at the colors and they go, it's somewhere something like yellowish, orangish, somewhere around whatever number. Kenny's got the awesome high grade company. I forget the brand of it, but the digital readout. So you take your water in there. They put it in this little disc, and they put that disc in the machine, and it gives you an exact digital readout of exactly what your water tests to the decimal on all of that stuff. King and Queen Cichlids. Scott, I have not seen you in forever. It is awesome to see you in and of itself. I hope you and Liz are doing wonderful. But coming in with a $20 super chat. Oh my goodness, buddy. I appreciate you. I really, really do. I've been kind of wondering how you've been doing. I haven't talked to you a whole lot. It's been a while, so I hope you're doing well. I have had you on my mind. King and Queen with the $20 super chat says, been listening while working on real work stuff. Yuck. Yeah, yuck. I'm sorry to hear that. Use this super chat for your next dollar store trip. What up, Ed?
Hey, he'll be able to buy a whole mess of stuff with $20.
I will. I absolutely will. And Scott, I really appreciate that, my friend. You ever get some free time? I know things are hectic for you. Shoot me a oh, Mrs. Fever's mad. Shoot me a message. We got to get together sometime. I want to get you on here. It's been a while since I talked to you, but again, huge thank you for the $20 super chat. And try not to let them work you too hard. I know that's not always an option, but try not to. Mrs. Fever is using the newest member emoji, the rant, to rant about the fact that this does not look like the Frontosa emoticon that was requested. Yeah, that is not. That is definitely not. But at least you can use the rant emoji to rant about it not being the Frontosa, right? Yeah, I need to redo it. So what I did, so case in point, when we hit 40 members, that opened up a new emoji. Well, the very next day, we lost a member. So we went back down to 39, and that locked that emoji again until we hit 40 again. So what I did, as soon as we hit 50, I threw that in there. That way, even if we drop back down to 49, it would still be available. Because I didn't want it to happen like, it's actually happened twice. It happened when we hit 30, and it happened when we hit 40. We hit it, and then somebody's membership fell off. So we couldn't do the emoji. And then, of course, we got another member, which is awesome of you all. Very, very much appreciated. But this time I was bound and determined as soon as we hit 50 to stick that emoji in there before YouTube locked it on me in the event that we went back down to 49.
You know, I don't know if I've ever looked at your emojis with the glasses on. The fifth one's a guppy. I always wondered what that was.
Yep. Well, see what happens when you put your glasses on your nose instead of on your top of your head?
Well, from back here, I thought it was like some type of a snail.
And Mrs. Fever, you're the one that got the African cichlid emoji on there. So I don't know why you're complaining about the fronty. You should have specified fronty on that one. But yeah, I digress. Yeah, there we go. So we've got the fish root fever emoji, the Ed emoji, the pleco, piranha, a guppy, angelfish, some plants, African cichlid, a tetra, the fish room fever logo, because we had some people that wanted to be able to throw that in there even if they weren't members, which I think is awesome. The shrimp, and then we have the rant. Yes.
Honestly, I think the rant is hilarious. I would keep it.
I like the rant. I want to redo it because you can't. So I don't feel like you can read it very well. You all in the chat, let me know if you can. I worked on the first one. You couldn't hardly read it all. Cichlid 23. Yo, what's going on, C23? Big J says, good to see you, Big J. Manly Bettis, hey, how are you? Did you?
Yep, I dreamt that we went to Colorado, and a bunch of other people did too.
Nice.
And Priscilla, instead of a pet store, she had a comic book store, and she was getting it like licensed. And we were all going to see the judge license her pet or her comic book store for some reason.
Alrighty then. Yeah. No, I completely agree that the rant is not really legible. Like I said, I threw it in there. I want to do the rant, but I want to do a different one than that. Do it better because you can't really read it. I even went 4 or 5 times when I was making it. I made it, and then I went and I commented on one of my videos so that I could put that in there, and then I deleted the comment out. I'm just not happy with it, but I'm using it as a placeholder. So if for whatever reason somebody's membership lapses, we drop back to 49, it's not locked where I can't get it anymore, and y'all don't have it to play with. So we'll get it worked out. Why rant? Because I digress is way too long to put into one of those emojis. You'd never be able to read it. I do like to digress a lot. So the closest thing was rant. I do rant on certain things. I call it digressing, but a lot of times it's ranting, especially when we talk about beneficial bacteria and having a cycled tank. And people like the rant emoji I found. It's almost a necessity if you're going to do live streams. If you're like myself and you do any type of ranting, to have one on there.
Were we done with the list?
Not quite.
Let's get back to it.
We got derailed, which is perfectly fine. But it was an easier conversation for me to have in the safety of the live audience than when the live went off and I walked in the other room and, you know, Frontosa book went flying at my head to remind me of the emoji. All right. So the last thing that I actually have over here with me, and again, Scott, King and Queen Cichlids, thank you for that. Somehow, if you all are in here and you don't know King and Queen Cichlids, go check them out. Liz is wonderful. Scott's all right. Liz, no, I'm just kidding. Scott and Liz are awesome. So go check them out. This is going to be the last prop I have. Lots of other things that I use that we could talk about. But the last prop I have is these condiment squirters.
I've been meaning to
what
get
they're labeled as. These are phenomenal things. Whether you buy the prepackaged fry food like Aquarium Co-op, Easy Fry Food, or you make your own fry food. If you buy the co-op stuff, the original one comes in one of these type of bottles. You can buy the refill though. Buy that refill pack, buy in bulk, and then buy these bottles here at the dollar store. You get 2 of them for $1, and that way you can get the discount of buying the refill bag at the co-op. You know, and like I also like to make my own fry food. These are awesome for that. That's the main thing I use them for. I'm sure we could come up with some other uses though in here, but that's my main thing, is using these for feeders. And it does, of course, have the little cap there that's attached to it, and then you cut that tip down to whatever size you want for whatever you're feeding. It comes with a pretty good size. I'm going to say that's a 1 millimeter, 1.25 millimeter. It's not quite a 1.5. Maybe a 1.25 millimeter hole in it.
I really do like that. I think I've been meaning to pick those up, and I always forget every time I go in. Because I'd like to put like a little thing on the end of my nursery, just so I can just go.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, I fished out about 40 of my Japanese bluetail fry and put them in a tank.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
All right, that leaves us with about 13 minutes, which should give us a little bit of time. If you all have your Fishymon64 says use them for ketchup and mustard. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely good for that too.
Not mustard.
Yeah, Ed's allergic to mustard. Don't give Ed any mustard, please.
I love mustard, but it literally blisters my skin.
But if you all have any other suggestions for any of the things we've talked about tonight, or you've got your own dollar store items, again, there's dozens of other things. I mean, I use Ziploc baggies from there for shipping plants out in it with my heat sealer. I've got, you know, my envelopes from there. The bubble wrap, the bubble packers. You could get the big bubble shippers for $1 there. Lots of different mailing stuff, some different tapes and things. Hardware section, I get lost in the hardware section of it. There's so much good stuff. You get packets of sandpaper. John McKenzie helping to fertilize the stream. $1 super pooper chat. Again, you can get these things there. Sometimes you get one without a string on it. John McKenzie, thank you again. I really, really do appreciate you. Never expected, but it really all does help. You all have made it possible for me to continue to attempt to live the fishy dream, you know, to spend time with you all and spend time with the fish and start up the kind of side fish business. And I appreciate it more than you all know, very, very much. Mainly Bettis has another says I buy cheap picture frames there and throw everything but the glass. I then use the glass for various things such as covers on nano tanks, etc. Yes, that is a wonderful one. I recently have tried that. I got the wrong size glass, but I had one of the dollar store frames that the the frame was cracked on. So I was like, hey, let me try this glass on something.
That's pretty cool. I never thought about that.
He's asking what happens Monday, November 16th with a winky face. I'm going to be in trouble because I don't remember.
It would be Catfish Christmas. The start of it.
There we go. There we go. Oh, and Lefty, I do want to apologize. You messaged me about the stream yesterday, and I was asleep. I slept for, I'm going to say at least 16 hours, and Mrs. Fever will, I'm sure, correct me if it was more than that. But I stayed awake long enough to get the eel taken care of yesterday, and then several hours after that, passed out until early this morning.
So, is it sad not having the eel in the house?
It is, but I mean, she went to a 1,200-gallon aquarium. She's in an exhibit tank. I'm not entirely sure where. She's in an exhibit tank. It might be at Ripley's. I don't know.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, she's in a nice little exhibit tank somewhere up in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'm really happy she got to go to a nice big tank. Hey, Fish Dreams, how are you? Susan for SLC Aquatics. Good to see you, Fish Fan Mom.
Hey, guys. I was thinking about going to Pigeon Forge for like 3 days or Gatlinburg. Just because it's harder to get to Disneyland right now. And I'd just like to get away for a couple of days.
44 Mad Guy Fishing More DUI. I love that. Good to see you. Lori Vinker, hello. And yet the Lefty's throwing the information in there for Catfishmas starting Monday, November 16th. Fish Fam Community Events of Facebook. Link in the chat. And then you can email your entries, art, pictures, and videos to fishfamcommunityevents@gmail.com. Pew Fishstone says, Fisher Fever, Ed told us yesterday you were at date night out. No, sorry.
You ended up, so you were just sleeping.
Yeah, I had to take care of the eel, and then I stayed up. I was going to try and get some things done because I didn't sleep the night before. I'm on like a third shifty type schedule. Stayed up for several hours, got a couple things done, and then was like, you know what? I'm going to lay down. And that nap turned into waking up at 1 o'clock this morning. And then I was going to go back to bed, and that didn't happen. So it is what it is. King and Queen Cichlid says, going to download this Excel document. You guys have a good night, everyone. Love you, fam. Scott, love you, brother. Again, thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated. But honestly, I'm just glad to see you. It's been a while, and I appreciate you hanging out, lurking, and swinging on through here, buddy. Don't let them work you too hard. Have a great night. Tell Liz hello for us. Just going through here. Yeah, Priscilla's calendar is awesome. So we showed it a little bit earlier in the stream. If any of you missed it, she's got the 2021 fish art calendar. There we go. Really awesome stuff. You can go on SwissAquatics.com, pre-order these. She's doing round 2 of pre-orders because the first round, of course, sold out pretty quick. So I highly encourage you to do that. And again, thank you, Priscilla, for sending that on over. Aquatic Aesthetics, check that out. What's going on? You got your local fish store. I got my local fish store, Aquatic Marine, in here. How awesome is that? You've got to love when the local fish stores show up and support the online community.
Yep. And he has got some fish that I've been really thinking about getting.
Wear that right there.
Oh, you got to throw it closer to the camera because we can't see it from here.
You can't see it.
Well, it just looks like a bright white.
Oh, that's because it's yellow. Yeah. That's what it is. See, Kitty, we're going to have to work on the yellow. It doesn't work with my brightness here.
Oh, I see. Well, at my store, Aquatic Aesthetics, they have giant autocyclists.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, my gosh. They're super cool, and I've been thinking about going and trying to get 2 of them. If I wouldn't have slept all day today, I meant to get up and go to Knoxville, and then I thought about maybe going to Hickson. And I messed up because I stayed up too late last night.
I would know about that.
I have got to go to sleep tonight. I'm not going to watch any YouTube because I've got to go to Knoxville tomorrow. But I'm thinking about getting those 2 giant auto sinkless. Or 2, I don't know how many he has. He had at least 3, I know. But they kind of look like sturgeon. And I don't know if they're quite as group oriented as like normal autos. So I'm hoping that 2 would be enough because I can't afford to buy 6.
So I want to grab a couple things. First off, hi, Candy Overhauls. Good to see you here. Appreciate you being here. And look at that awesome mod work. You all are fantastic. Zen Ginger, Lefty 3213A, and Candy Overhauls. Throwing those links down for Swiss Aquatics and Aquatic Aesthetics and the calendar and all the awesome stuff. All the things, as Candy would say, all the things. Mrs. Fever pointing out, Kenny left 30 minutes ago. Yes, but he does rewatch sometimes. And I know for a fact that he puts the live streams on the playlist at the store. So at some point, this will be playing in the pet store, and he will hear that. So.
How's his arm doing?
It's doing better. Doing better. For some reason, he didn't want to help carry that cooler with the eel in it. I mean, he took off out of there, in a hurry as soon as there was work to be done. But no, it is definitely doing better. Still got a long way to go to heal, I'm sure, but he's up and about and all that good stuff. Susan for SLC Aquatics would like me to remind everybody, she didn't say this, but she did say, I still need articles for the hashtag FishFam community calendar. So if you are somebody that is smarter than myself, not difficult to do or be, and you would like to write an article and get that to Susan for SLC Aquatics. Susan, what is the best way to get that to you? Your email? Aquatic Aesthetics is saying they're 4.5 inch.
Yeah, they're neat. They look like little sturgeons. They almost look like they're armored. They have a neat little kind of nose bump. I think they're neat.
They are. They're very, very cool.
I wish I read what other people were asking him, but they're super neat. And I figure they'd be worth buying a cucumber for.
And there, Susan's saying it is the newsletter, not the calendar. I was wondering, but I didn't want to. I didn't know if you're doing like some special like calendar with articles in it. So I just read it as it was. But yeah, for the FishFam newsletter, if you want to send in an article to go into that, you can email Susan at slcaquatics.org. See if I can grab that, and we'll put it up right there for people to see. Pegasus Arena says, FRF and Ed, due to quarantine, I'm skipping Petco and PetSmart and going to my LFS for my live plants shopping trip happening soon. Very, very cool.
I think that's, it got deleted. I think that's a great thing to say because your plants are going to do a lot better if you get them at your local fish store. A lot of the ones that Petco and PetSmart I've even heard aren't even true.
On the floor, wow.
Because you're timing people out and typing Huspa, Wasco, Yasio, and Ahi.
I guess one of the cats stuck on.
Mrs. Fever's hexing me in the chat because I didn't do the frontosa. Sorry about that, Rena.
She deleted the comment we're talking about.
Well, she had to. Well, if you time somebody out, as best I can remember, it auto deletes their comment.
Oh.
But yeah, and then she's hexing me in the chat.
Well, I'm sorry, Rena, but
at least we did get to read it. I mean, we could pull it up, but still.
Well, I was actually waiting until you got there because I thought that sounded like a wonderful idea. I think she'll get a lot better plants from our local fish store.
Yeah, thank you, Susan, reposting. I appreciate that. And Lefty reposting also. There we go. Oh.
I mean, anybody can sell bad plants. So, I mean, we can't vouch for every single fish store, but I always say support your local guys first.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Where is your local guy located, Ed? I know he said he was your local guy, but where is Aquatic Aesthetics?
In Chattanooga, Tennessee.
There you go. And for anybody that doesn't know, Aquatic Marine in Knoxville, Tennessee, if you're in this area.
Yep. And my shop is in the northern side in the Hickson area of Chattanooga. But just look up Chattanooga and you'll see him.
There you go. We have got 0 minutes by the time you all hear this, but I do want to run back through here and say a huge thank you to everybody that donated tonight. helping fund the dream yet another day. Of course, a huge thank you to the moderator team. You all do a wonderful job. It's amazing everything you all do multiple times. There's so many streams that so many of you all are moderators on. Your help is not unappreciated. So thank you very, very, very much for that, moderators. All the people lurking and listening, everybody that contributed to tonight, everybody that went through and smashed that thumbs up button. We've got 82 people watching and 77 thumbs ups. Y'all are awesome. Thank you very, very much for that. We're going to go through here. I know we had Aquamate rejoin and come back into the fold, re-upping his membership. Oh, and it didn't pop up last week, but we did have Sabrina Stewart also became a member. I noticed that after the stream. It wasn't showing during, but she joined before Colin's Critters last week. So Sabrina, I'm sorry that I didn't get you on the last stream, but thank you for becoming a member. If you're catching this on a replay, I really do appreciate you. Run through here and say a huge thank you for the super chatters. And we have, let's hit see all. Did I get Priscilla's poop? I don't think I got Priscilla's poop. I saw it and I wanted to talk about Priscilla's constantly crapping on everything I say, just in case I didn't. Priscilla, MK, thank you for pooping on the stream. Really do appreciate you, Priscilla. Looking forward to co-hosting on Monday with you. We got Aquatic Marine with the $10 super sticker, T-Bones Fishies with the $2 Aussie sticker, Mr. Zen dropping by with that $5 super sticker, Furloughs Aquatics, who is long gone but never forgotten. He's off cleaning his reptile tanks right now. Go check him out, by the way. $15 super chat. Mike's Aquatics and Things dropping multiples. Got $5 in there and a dollar deuce right there. Thank you, Mike. All these channels, go check him out. I'm going to say that because everybody in here has pretty much got a channel, except Mr. Zen. But Pet Exotics, multiple aquariums. Diego, thank you for the $2.47 super chat. Tim Carter for that $5 super chat. And again, glad your tank or your fish are doing well. And Scott from King and Queen Cichlids dropping through with that $20 super chat. Appreciate that very much. I know he's gone, but still a huge thank you to him. John McKenzie also pooping on the stream. Thank you for the fertilizer. And last but not least, Priscilla Swiss Aquatics with the $1 super pooper chat. Make sure nothing came in while I was looking at the other screen. It did not. I will turn it over to Ed for his newfound fantastic customary farewell.
Well, thank you, sir. You guys, don't be afraid to get your hands wet. Keep those tanks clean.
And until next time, keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Catch yourself a little fish room fever. Take care, everybody.